What is happening, traders? God bless each and every single one of you guys. Hope you're having a stand-up freaking day. Today, we're going to be covering stock ticker AMC, as well as some news, some DD from freaking the CEO, Adam Aaron, clarifying this rating action overview. So in case you guys are unaware, AMC actually got a credit upgrade, which is important for its long-term debt capitalization, right? So AMC Entertainment Holdings, incorporated, upgraded to a B- from a triple C on improving operational performance, outlook stable. So this is huge when you look at, like we said, the interest payments on said debt. So you can see he goes on to explain this as the post further develops. But the biggest thing here is, right, as AMC improves its financial outlooks, right, you can continue with the same clientele to actually reduce debt. So not only is the interest coming down to the debt, so is the debt itself. And that is the biggest thing. He goes in to say the stable outlook reflects our view that AMC will remain sustain improved operating performance over the next 12 months, generate positive reported free cash flow in 2027, and maintain adequate liquidity. So bankrupt my ass. And the funniest thing, guys, is your current weekly status up 21 and 0.15% on the stock, and you've officially broken out of your all-time downtrend on AMC. Now, this is a look at it on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, you're just now peeking into what we call the bull zone or the greed territory. This is technically overbought territory, but every single time you have this happen, guys, you see AMC go for a little bit of a tandem, right? A little bit of a run. So the trend is your friend, right? You should expect that to occur until otherwise occurs. And you can see the last couple times you peaked into the bull zone on the 4-hour chart. Just taking a look at it, 5% candle there. You could see this one right here, an 11% candle. And then going back to the other recent times in this run, you can see a 4 and then a 14% candle there as well. So regardless, guys, if you see this follow through or if you see a pullback, I am bullish on the short-term analysis of technical stock ticker AMC. I want to give a shout out to Mr. David Burgos saying, damn, he's getting it all right, because yesterday we called out in our video the literal bottom today that you saw in AMC. You saw a nice open to the day. Hold on. Well, technically not a nice open. You saw an inverted hammer candle, and then you saw this thing flip to 260. The reason we said 260, guys, was that was your previous high, right? So you'll see this happen often in liquidity, is you will see this recent breakout go back to retest the high before bouncing higher. And that's exactly what you did, guys. We saw this high of 260 to the candle wick. This high was 261, so it was likely that you would retest 260 before finishing higher, and that's what you did. So the one thing that I don't like here from a technical breakout standpoint is look at this touch of technical bearish divergence, right? A lower high on the RSI, but a higher high on the stock price. For me, that's meaning you could do either, you could see this blow off top, right, and then come back down, or you could see a little bit more consolidation here outside of your all-time downtrend on AMC before you see this thing go for a little bit of a ripper. But the technical areas that we're watching for, guys, now that you're outside of what I would call probably one of the biggest technical developments for AMC's history in recent notice, right, is this breakout right here. Right, so you have the 9-day weekly EMA, guys, the thing that we have been preaching about week over week, saying that this blue line, this lagging indicator, crossing through the 50 will come with explosive volume, explosive news, and explosive freaking moves, guys. And that's what I expect, right? Taking a zoom out, because anyone who is new, there are plenty of new people. The last time you did this was back, you guessed it, January 29th of 2021. We all know the day, the day that the buy button was taken away, but you stayed above the 9-day EMA on the weekly until you saw it cross to the 200, and then you saw that June squeeze. It's part of our thesis, guys, that you will continue to see risk on assets outperform the broader market. You saw it today, right? Look at IWM on this stock, even though you're down 1.64. SPY was also down pretty greatly, which is the weirdest thing of it all is AMC is greatly outperforming, not just the broader market, not just IWM, but the Mag 7, guys. That is absolutely unusual behavioral analysis on AMC. So speaking of behavioral analysis, guys, do we know what this is? This is your current flagpole from your initial breakout, right, on this run up. I like to see how symmetrical these moves are, and I like to compare it along the way, right? So you can actually see very perfectly on AMC on the weekly time frame. That was your breakout move. Stick it on top of the breakout. That is your exact profit target right there, to the T. Stick it on top of this breakout, guys, and that takes you literally to the penny, up to 318, which is long time been our technical price target for AMC. While you swing back up here, because it was the last freaking piece of resistance before you saw this thing slide and capitulate. So I hold that belief that you will see a test of 318 before you see any kind of correction, right? You could see this thing go absolutely massive, massively parabolic here on the shorter time frames. But as long as you stay above 220, guys, on the 50-day EMA, on the weekly time frame, this thing is set and primed, guys. Absolutely primed to do something kind of crazy. So I'm genuinely actually really excited. I know I've brought on Gary the Goose last couple of videos. He's kind of been our good luck token, to be honest with you. That's him again. In Gary we trust. All right. Let's take a little peeky weeky at more than just that, right? The 4-hour chart we took a look at, we saw the bearish div on the freaking 1-hour chart. And beyond that, guys, you did also have 2 4-hour candles of lowering volume. That is another thing that kind of worries me, but we'll continue to develop and watch this situation as it pans out. On IWM, we saw a breakdown after the Fed's decision to hold rates as they are. And you saw the bears step in a pretty tremendous way in the daily, right? Look at this volume come in from this breakdown of this triangular, whether you call it a falling wedge or whatever you want to call it, but you knifed through the 50-day EMA, guys. If you do not recover this tomorrow, right, there is a strong possibility that you're coming down on IWM, which is not a great look, right? It's not a great look. Looking at the 4-hour chart here, you made a very, very strong 4-hour candle close going into the end of the day. So I'm hoping and praying that you see this thing swing back up, fake out all the freaking bears, and pump to the upside. That would get AMC the relief it needs, right? Because although you're outperforming the broader market, it's unlikely if you see that swing down in IWM to this gap fill on the 4-hour, right around 284 to 281, right? That AMC stays above water here. I think if you see that swing down, you'll likely see this rejection and then either retest this uptrend or retest, I would say probably 220. Right around that 50-day EMA. So that's going to be an important test if it freaking happens. All right, looking at IWM though, what else do we have? Because you look at the daily time frame, you have the 50-day EMA that you've lost. You also have this 200-day EMA at 266, guys. That's right in line with the other 2 gap fills. You have a gap fill currently sitting at 264 and then one currently sitting at 252. So that's your downside risk when you're talking about the broader market index for small cap stocks. I'm still bullish. I still believe it's going to go higher, but it might be just a little bit more of a short-term pullback. So that's what we're watching for IWM, guys. Looking at GameStop, you saw a little bit of a rejection here off of the top of this channel. Pretty much exactly what we were talking about in our last video. If you do not see this thing peak above, then you're going to see the rejection, right? And you're going to continue to chop and consolidate along this channel until you see fundamental news on GME, guys. So until that happens, the trend is your friend, and it is lower highs and lower lows, or at least until you get to this uptrend right around 21-24 now, right? So that is a positive. That's a good sign. Let's delete that. Bam. And we get, yeah, right around 21, 24. You are so dangerously close. You're danger close to getting this green MACD on the daily cross. So if you test the 9-day EMA, currently sitting at 21.75, right? It's possible you see a bounce if this is a bullish scenario, and especially because the rejection today was extremely low volume, that you could see this thing push outside of this consolidation channel and push into the 200 at 22.91, guys. That is your bull case scenario for GameStop. So I'm hoping that's what we see. Looking at, let's see the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, you're just making a higher low. So that is actually a pretty good look. Looking at the GME warrants, pretty much exactly the mirroring of GameStop that we were expecting to see. You tested and failed to close above the 9-day EMA today, but on really, really low volume. So that is a trend that you're seeing in the markets right now between AMC, GameStop, and the GME warrants is low volume because the broader market sell-off is attributing to that, right? The buyers are not there right now in the markets when they are going down. So it's natural that you're seeing low volume. But the fact that you're seeing these stocks hold up with strength above that of the broader market is significantly bullish, guys, because even if you're holding high here, if the markets dip a little bit more, maybe come down, the moment they reverse strongly, you should get that buyer support and then lift off again. So 318 is the spot that we're watching for AMC, guys. We've officially filled our gap fill and officially gotten our golden cross on the EMAs. I love the freaking stock right now. It looks phenomenal. And the macro timeframes are getting better and better and better, as this is your highest close for AMC in the last almost year. Almost the highest close in the last year. If you close today on the monthly time frame, which you are dangerously close to doing so, guys, on higher volume, mind you, right? So that's significantly bullish. On the quarterly time frame, we already know we've seen the most positive development for AMC that you've seen in a very long time. And I can't help but talk about AMC because this is where a lot of the momentum and a lot of the money is being made right now. You can see a quarterly candle that was a bullish engulfing candle, followed by a 44% move and a green cross on the MACD. So to all the haters who are saying that this thing is going to zero, you are wrong. And I was right. I think that's what we got on the technical updates for today, guys. So until next time, I love each and every single one of you guys. God bless you and your families. And remember, the best is yet to come. Let's go and peace.